G'day, folks. Welcome to the Art of Teaching podcast. Here we talk about how to become more compelling communicators in the way of Jesus. My name is John Tyson, a pastor here in New York City, and I'm joined by John Mark Comer, founder of Practicing the Way, and Jefferson Bethke, author of Take Back Your Family and To Hell with the Hustle. Welcome to Season 1.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Art of Teaching podcast. So in our kind of podcast rhythm, we want to do a few episodes that are Q&R. Of course, I'm from Portland, Oregon, so we don't have Q&A here because it's a secular city, postmodern. That would imply that there's such a thing as objective truth and we have all of the answers. But we are sitting here in Portland, Oregon, and we are happy to respond to any and all of your questions. So let's start with a first question.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm from California, and my question is, even though I'm not a pastor, officially a leader, I keep being put in positions to lead and teach. How do you cope with being excited about a topic and no one else being? Thanks.
Oh, Sophia, that's a great question. First of all, I want to affirm that I love that she's being put in positions to teach and lead.
That's the first thing I thought. I was
Yeah,
like,
thank God
pay
for
attention.
that.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
So we love that. We love that. But I think that's actually a decent question that has a lot of layers probably that we could answer. But yeah, like when you want to teach on something, but no one else is there yet? Meaning, how do when you're excited about a topic, how do you bring that to bear when you feel like no one else is? How would you guys say that? Answer that.
JMC?
Well, I think it depends on what the topic is. Are you excited about the topic and nobody else is because it's like a weird niche passion project of yours? Like you are just super interested in Ezekiel's temple and what the heck are the last 10 chapters of Ezekiel about?
Yes.
Or is it because our culture is so numbed and anesthetized by entertainment and distraction and secularism and worldliness that people frankly aren't passionate about the kinds of things that God is passionate about? So to the former category, I would say, you know what, let that be an interesting study habit for you, not a sermon. To the latter category, I would say that is the job of preaching.
Yes.
Is to, the way I always say it is, because again, we're preaching for formation. I think Tyson and I share that. That is our telos, our end goal. Is how do we form people into the image of Jesus to be about what he's about in their city or their world in a particular place in a particular time. I think part of the job of preaching is to get people in touch with what I would call their latent desire for sainthood. Like underneath all of the other desires that people are often living off of and out of, there is this deep primal desire to be with God and to become deeply formed into a person of love. And we see it. We'll often see it when we watch movies or documentaries of great people, a Nelson Mandela or a Mother Teresa or whoever. Or I remember finishing reading Dallas Willard's biography by Gary Moon, and I just was like, my heart was mush, and I was just I so deeply desired goodness in my life. I so deeply desired to have a beautiful soul. His mentee said of him, he was the most intelligent person I've ever known, and his life was even better than his mind. And there's a way of preaching, a way of writing, a way of preaching the gospel of Jesus, of presenting the person of Jesus, what I think the New Testament calls the radiance of Christ, where you as the listener are all of a sudden in touch with this desire you didn't even know you had. Yeah. And I think that's part of the job of preaching.
Yes. Hey everyone, I want to take a quick break in this podcast, tell you about a few fun Art of Teaching projects we have coming up this year and next. The big one is we're going to Nashville. We're taking the conference to Nashville and we want you there. So a lot of people bring a team, a lot of people come by themselves. They meet other like-minded pastors, teachers, leaders, preachers, and they also get to grow as a team if they come as a team. But we're going to have incredible sessions, brand new content, totally fresh. Charlie Dates is coming. We have some other special guests. We're going to do breakouts. It's going to be a blast. So if you want to use the code podcast, that should give you 10% off on the tickets for you as yourself or for you and your team. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, I think we live in a world where, I think it was Bishop Robert Barron that said the traditional way people have thought is goodness, truth, and beauty. And we probably need to reverse that. Nobody knows what's good. Nobody agrees on what's true. But beauty has a capacity to sneak past people's senses. So I think we have a responsibility to show the beauty of the person of Jesus and the beauty of the gospel. So start with taking your idea, getting it into its most beautiful and compelling form, and then holding it up in contrast to the brokenness of the world so they can see why your idea matters. So I think, how do you find I'm not even talking aesthetics, I'm talking the nature of that truth. Show them why it matters. Show them how it applies. Show them why this is better than what it is that the world has to offer. And then the thing I think about, I think it was Wesley who said, set yourself on fire and the world will come and see you burn. If you are passionate about something, passion is contagious.
Yes.
And if you are passionate about what that is, I think people may begin to see where does that interest come from? Where does that desire come from? And they will be drawn into it as well. So I think you can have some godly mimetic desire by modeling a hunger for the truth and showing them what it is. But I do want to just come back at the end and say, the fact that people are asking repeatedly for you to teach and lead is such a compliment, and really lean into that. Is there something there for you that people are requesting your influence and your presence in front of them?
Yeah, and Sophia, I would give you one last encouragement. I feel like this resonated with me, where I actually feel like, whether you use the word ministry or not, I feel like this feels like what I would see as my call to ministry. Is I feel like I want to be reading and thinking about and speaking about things that people are not yet thinking about, processing, kind of zombie-esque status quo type things I want to kind of approach and deconstruct for them. And so it's inherent in what I like to do is actually assuming people will do that. But then also I would say, and I think that's a little bit more of a prophetic edge voice. So that might be you, Sophia, but also be sensitive too. I think there's a nuance there too of pay attention to why they're not excited. Is it not, again, kind of what you said, are they not excited because hard-heartedness or something like that? Or is it actually like you're kind of off in left field and you need to come back a little bit? So I think the sensitivity of that is also really important, but yeah.
One other thought, part of the burden of being a prophetic teacher is that, you look at Jesus' ministry, they have eyes to see, but they can't see, ears to hear, they don't hear. Part of the pain of a preacher is that people do not burn for what you burn for. And there's an inherent in the task, the risk of rejection. And you sort of have to step up to the plate with an awareness that this is how it will go. Jesus says, that we're to leap for joy when people persecute us because of Jesus. And woe to you when all men speak well of you. So if everybody loves what you say and is interested in everything you say all the time, you're probably doing entertainment, not preaching.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Sophia, for the question. I hope that was an encouragement.